salutare, suntem aici cu Mexxspeed Ghia, una dintre mașinile pe care când am anunțat-o, nimeni n-a crezut că vine. Oricum au fost multe mașini foarte interesante. Mașina are 740 de cai, dintre care 440 aspirat, dintr-un motor neobișnuit, plus NOS. NOS, ceea ce mai folosește lumea pe aici. Hai să facem cunoștință cu el și să ne explice despre mașina asta absolut extraordinară. Hello and thank you for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about this car. There's a lot to tell, but let's try and find out as much as we can.
Okay, I'm really thankful to be here. We didn't expect that professional organization. We didn't expect that good track. And so we are more than glad to be here, part of this event. And it's more than helpful for us because we get enough track time. We are close to the starting line, so it's really easy for us to tune the car, which was sense of coming here. The car, basically, it started as a project because I was running a street car, and there's a point where you cannot keep up this with a street car with the fast Audis, with the all-wheel drive, and then I said, okay, I will build a car without any compromise. And this started with a tube chassis with carbon fiber because my main advantage is to keep it as light as possible, because the total, you want to ask me about the weight?
Yes.
The total weight with me, with driver, with fuel, with everything, coming back from a run is like 540 to 550, depends on the amount of fuel.
Kilograms?
Kilograms.
Oh.
So it's light.
Really light, really light.
And the horsepower of the engine, this would be probably the next question. The horsepower of the engine is 440 horsepower, natural aspirated, and there is a chance up to 300 horsepower. This is the capability of the engine. Doesn't mean that you can run 300 horsepower nitros, but we will see if we get the chance later on this day to add some nitros just to get it working.
So you just run on fuel until now?
Yeah. Never run on nitros.
So 440 horsepower, and the best of what did you do? 9 here?
Then over here it was a 9.0, so we are close to the 8. We want to do the 8 today,
Okay.
hopefully.
That's still crazy. 440 horsepower and 9 seconds.
It's the weight. It's always the horsepower to weight ratio. It's not the horsepower, and it's the horsepower you get on the ground, not what you make on the dyno.
Still, it's impressive. I mean, when we first announced it, we said 440 horsepower plus nitrous, and people still did not believe. Okay, let's go to the driver's seat and explain a little bit about. So you get in because it's made for you, and we want to see how you sit in the driver's seat.
You see everything inside is out of carbon fiber because of weight reasons. So enter the car is really quick like this.
Oh, you fit actually really, really nice there.
Yeah, it's not with the flip-flops, but anyway.
And there's a lot of leg room also.
Yeah. So outside it looks quite tiny, but inside it's built for my size.
Yes. I see you have quite a few gauges.
Yeah, the most gauges are not for driving, it's just for checking everything if you want to do a drive. So we have the oil temperature just to ensure that the oil temperature is warm enough. It never gets hot because during a run, due to methanol, it cools down. So we have to have a sharp eye on keeping the oil temperature over 60 degrees, because 55 degrees is the point where methanol starts to evaporate, and you have no chance to get methanol in the oil, to dilute the oil, because it just evaporates. So never ever go under 60 degrees.
Okay, I understand.
The fuel pressure just to see if the fuel system is working, and this is oil pressure just to see the health of the engine. This is just if I start up the car to get a clue, is everything right?
Okay, so it's all mechanical, you don't have an ECU and...
No. Everything is triggered from a Mexxspeed ECU.
Oh, so very simple.
Yeah, the Mexxspeed triggers the whole engine. It triggers the traction by, if you're running on nitros and you have too much wheel spin, it reduces the level of the nitros.
Oh, it's that smart?
Yeah, and it makes the nitros progressive, the Mexxspeed, and it makes the shifting. The shifting is Liberty style. It's fully automatic, so you put it in first gear, and you have an air bottle with 300 bar, basically it's from a paintball.
Okay.
And this shifts automatically the gears, and it's seamless shifting. So there's no cut, no bang, no nothing. It's just you you put it in first gear, you launch, then it puts in additionally the second gear, and as soon as the second gear engages, the first gear pops out. So seamless means all the tires and the whole
There's no shock in the drivetrain, basically.
the drivetrain keeps under tension, the same tension. There's no lift, no cut, no nothing. So you keep the tension. That's really important because if
No
you
power loss.
not because of the power loss. The nitrous makes a lot of torque, and if you shift, you load and unload the tires, and that's not that funny at high speed.
Yeah, of course.
You see a lot of cars during shifting, especially the Audis, which change nearly the lanes due to shifts. And to avoid this, because as the car is light and powerful, it's more aggressive on. And so this was the idea to build a gearbox like this.
It's harder to keep it under control.
Yeah. For more smooth run.
That's the air bottle, not. I thought it was.
This is the air bottle and this is the nitrous bottle, both carbon fiber.
Oh.
Small is the air and
small
big
is
is
the
the.
air one. Okay.
The main thing is I made the decision to shift with the pressure from the nitrous, but then I always have to have the nitrous on board, and people won't believe that I can run natural aspirated at times, because when people were telling that's not true, you cannot run 8 seconds without nitrous, I removed the bottle and still did a run, because in Germany in Zerbst we were running 9.0 and people believed it is on nitrous, and then we removed the bottle, we were running 8.9, and later on we were running even 8.6 without nitrous. And so this is personal best is 8.68, and this is basically in the Volkswagen air-cooled world the world record. So
Let's go to the back and talk about the engine also. Okay, so I understand the body is all carbon, but I don't know what powers this one.
basically the engine from the setup, it's an air-cooled Volkswagen. So the Volkswagen turned out with the Type 1 engine from the Beetle with 1600 cubic centimeters. This is built to the limit, which is 3 liters, so it's 2977 cubic centimeters.
So it's a 3-liter engine, boxer.
Yeah, yeah,
From
cool.
what year?
No, not year. The thing is, the engine case is aftermarket, so you buy it new. It's not. It is stock style, but nothing from stock.
Race boxer engine then.
Yeah, it's a race case, but this is from the dimension. It's the Volkswagen.
Okay, what
And-
year? The design. Let's see the design. Okay.
Design 70s up till the end,
Okay.
and
So it's
everything else billet is made by me. So billet cylinders, billet heads, billet valve covers, billet valve train.
what?
The cylinders, the heads, everything is designed by me and made by me.
Wow. So there's no aftermarket solution for this to buy?
This is basically right now the world's best setup, and I even sell a lot of these parts to the States. Because it took years that you realized this is more reliable and better in quality and makes more horsepower than anything else. Nothing comes close.
Oh. Yeah, to be honest, 440 horsepower natural aspirated
For
from a
air-cooled, two valve with push rods. We have no overhead because it's really hard to rev these engines.
Yes, yes,
They
yes.
don't like to rev with the push rods.
Yes.
And the good thing, if you see 440 horsepower at 9,150, so really high RPM
Oh,
for an air-cooled push rod engine.
so there's
Two
no
valves.
cooling system, nothing.
Nothing, just a methanol.
And it also helps with the weight, to be honest.
You have to keep the cylinder heads and the cylinders rigid, because you know at this high RPM, at this power level, if everything is fragile, it doesn't help. So it has to be more rigid. You cannot save weight on the. So the engine is basically a little bit lighter as the stock one, but it's much bigger.
Oh,
But it's not that light,
I understand.
because if you start making heads light, you're running into troubles.
Of course, but I'm referring to the fact that it has no cooling
Yeah,
system,
yeah.
no coolant,
It
no
helps.
radiator,
No alternator, no cooling system, no fan shroud,
Oh,
nothing.
no alternator also?
No, nothing. I'm running just on battery.
I understand. Okay, and what gearbox is that?
The gearbox, as I started to tell you first, that's a home-built seamless gearbox. So basically the case and the final drive is from Porsche.
Okay.
You can film inside where you see, we will do this later on. And everything internal is home-built.
Oh, Do you have a CNC shop or something
No.
at home?
I have my milling machine, I have my lathe where I do the small stuff, but I have access to two big CNC shops which are owned for friends of mine, and they are doing a lot for aviation. So the thing is, these heads, when I sell them, they are ISO 9100 aviation certified, because we have the ability to. So this is one off at the market.
I don't know how many people told you that, but I think you're crazy.
Mad, people call me mad.
Yes, yes.
So
of
like
course.
Mad Max. So
I think it's the only car with the engine and transmission designed by the driver and operator and
it's even more, I
financier.
built the tube chassis myself, I designed it, I built it myself. I built all carbon fiber, it's done by me, only by me. I bought no carbon fiber. Yeah, I bought the bottles, but everything else was done by me.
Do you even sleep?
Sometimes. Even the seat, we made the seat, we measured it on my bag, we built some metal strips to fit perfectly, then we rolled it out of sheet metal like on an English wheel, we made it out of steel, we fit it, we changed it a little bit that it fits perfectly, and then I made from this steel a mold for making the carbon fiber one.
This is unbelievable.
And everything, the roof, everything is carbon fiber, is made by me. Door, see the door, it's 2.6 kilos.
Wow.
So, and if you look at the shifter, this is all titanium, and the shifting rods are carbon fiber. So one shifting rod is like 65 grams. So the lighter the shifting stuff is, the faster you can shift with less energy. So you have a certain amount of energy by the air and because the limiting, restricting stuff is the solenoid. You need big solenoids to get a big orifice, to get as much as fast air into it to shift it, because the faster you shift the gearboxes, the less wear you have.
The whole build is really crazy. We're really glad that you came over all the way from UK.
Sorry.
You came over all the way from UK?
Now, the last race was in UK.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vienna, Austria. So, and so traveling to UK with the ferry and with everything and the border and the custom, it's like 25 hours.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again. This blew my mind. This blew my mind.
The
Absolutely.
last thing I would say, because I'm Austrian, I'll be back.
Okay. Great one. Have a nice day.
Thank you.